Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Funday with Paul and Judy. I'm actually flying solo today. Paul, who is so funny, he did shoot a couple of videos as to where he is and why he can't be here today. I don't know if this is going to work, but let me see if I can show it to you from my phone. I'll hold it up and we'll see if you can hear it. I tried to put it in the broadcast, but I'm not sure that it's actually going to go because just of changing the format and everything. So I'll see if I can show this to you.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to Sunday Funday with Paola and Judy. Sorry I couldn't be there with you, but I wanted to show you why I couldn't make the broadcast. So right behind me, you used to seeing that boat in our backyard. I'm just going to move this.
Okay. So not necessarily technologically ideal, but then he picked it up where he left off right here.
And now our new home is going to be in that slip where you see the white fenders there. So maybe next week, you will see the boat's being delivered today somewhere around noon, 12:30. Anyway, have a great time with Judy, and I'll see you next week.
Isn't that cute? So that's where he is, and that's why he can't be here, because this guy is bringing the pontoon about 2.5 to 3 hours from here. So we said, we better go with his schedule and I'll be fine flying solo, kind of like I used to do in the early days at QVC when we never had anybody. We were just talking for 3 hours all by ourselves. So I'm going to feel a little bit like a one-armed paper hanger today because I'm going to be the technical wizard. I always talk about being Oz, behind the curtain with a little mouse controlling everything that's going on. So please bear with me. I'm thrilled that you're here. Happy Sunday Funday. I know, wasn't that cute? He's so funny. I'm like, as if I need one more thing just before a show starts to stress me out. But I said, I got to make it happen. It's just too cute. But what I wanted to tell you is the reason that Paul said, welcome to Paola with Paul and Judy, is that I do have a very special guest who's going to be joining me on today's Sunday Funday. And I mentioned it when I was promoting the show earlier today. You guys know how much I love when I'm doing my videos. You know how much I love to wear my workout socks. And when I do, I always sort of match my clothes, and I have such a good time because I love the way it looks, but I also more so love the way it feels. What I'm talking about is, you'll recognize when you watch my videos, I always have something on my feet. No matter where I am, there's always some kind of matching pair of sticky socks. And they're called Tucketts. I've been wearing these things for probably the past 8 or so years. See what I mean about how I try to match my outfit? But they're so comfortable and they really keep me secure if I'm on a slippery floor like tile, like I was when we were in Belize, or like I was, there's one of the videos I did from Belize, or if I'm on a wooden floor in a studio, I'm always wearing my Tucketts. So they even have a brand new collection that's out right now. But I thought it would be so much fun to introduce you to the woman CEO and founder of this company. And when I got a hold of her and I wrote to her and said, I would really love for you to be a guest on the show, she said, I love it. I'll be there. So without further ado, meet Paola Shah. Paola, how are you?
Hi, Judy. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so thrilled to share this, 30, 45 minutes with you.
Yes.
Noel, thank you for being such a big fan, follower, and, wearing Tucketts. That's my biggest pleasure.
Well, I really mean it. I mean, I've been wearing them for such a long time. I never go to a studio without them. And there was one time when I did end up forgetting. I was in a hurry. So I got to the studio, the bar studio, and I didn't have them. I ended up buying a pair from the studio because I thought, I'm going to feel so weird working out in bare feet. I can't do it. So But I really wanted to kind of give everybody who's watching, and we have followers who tune into the Sunday Funday show every weekend, and they're really, really loyal. They're wonderful, wonderful people, and a lot of them do my workouts. But you and I were talking yesterday about how these are not just for working out. And so I kind of wanted you to go into a little story about Tucketts, how you got started, why you're doing it.
Yeah. So I am from Colombia, in case you wonder a bit my accent, but I was living in London, moved to LA, recently married, and I was kind of looking for a new job. A friend of my husband asked me to help her to do a market research to open a Pilates studio. And then one of the things to look for were socks. And it turned out that I love colorful socks. And then I didn't like what was available. And more important, what I observed is like people were struggling with the socks. And then if you don't feel that you can trust your feet, the whole workout is going to be completely imbalanced.
Yes.
And then, so I decided to basically cut the toes of the top part of the socks. And then the idea, started moving in my head, but I didn't do much. Then I moved to New York, I got pregnant. And when I was doing yoga, I was feeling really nervous on my feet. So I said, okay, I need to find someone to do this prototype. And I had the prototype done. And when I wore the socks and the prototype was extremely basic, everyone in the class came to me. It's like, I want a pair, I want a pair, I want a pair. I was like, really? And then I started giving, getting more prototypes and giving the socks to yoga instructors, Pilates instructors. And it was completely approved. Then I talked to podiatrists. It's like, do you think this sock is something that will be, good and it will help people somehow? And then I got an amazing answer. And it's like, yes, totally. The moment that you leave the toes out, the barefoot sensation is kept. And when you keep the barefoot sensation, more important, you keep that connection between the feet and the brain.
Sure.
And then many times we don't realize how important our feet are. But if you look at your feet and your feet are not completely balanced, it's going to reflect on your knees, on your hips, on your shoulders, on absolutely everything. So Tucketts, it started, part of my intuition is from in a very intuitive point of view. I was like, we have only a big gap between the big toe and the second toe, but the rest of the toes are completely like together, right? So it's like, okay, we cannot really put anything between in the toes because it's just uncomfortable and it doesn't seem natural to me. And it's like leaving the toes out, you keep the barefoot sensation, you keep sending that communication, or maybe not interrupting the communication between the brain and the feet. And more important, you start loving your feet and being aware that your feet are there and you need to take care of them. And then I came into a third mission that it was about bringing awareness of the importance of the feet. And your health really, really, it starts from your feet.
Yes, and you say that there's a foot-brain connection, that it's actually backed by science. But what I also loved about this brand is that you even say in your literature and online, and when you and I were talking yesterday, that it's also more than just the feet themselves, but it's also the variety of things that you have. And I thought it might be really fun to, since you sent me this video, and it really kind of takes everybody behind the scenes, which makes it even more fun to appreciate, what you do and what goes into it. Let me pull myself down and let me pull up the video that you sent me before. And if you don't mind, talk me through what we're seeing here.
Yeah, this is the factory. And then when I had to choose a factory, I decided that people were very important. And I wanted to make sure that people making the socks were well paid and we created an impact. We also use recycled cotton. We have saved, and that has been a very conscious choice. By using recycled cotton in our best sellers, we have saved more than 10 million liters of water so far since we started the company. And
Wow.
then we really take care and think about what carbon footprint we're leaving behind. And then that goes back to you, to the one that also wears the socks. And for example, our packaging is thought in a way that we can put in a shipping box the maximum number of socks.
Uh-huh.
That way, our footprint gets reduced. And as I explained, it's a sweatshop-free factory. We're really in touch. One of the best things about Tucketts are
Love
the
these colors.
grippers, because
Yes.
and this is how grippers are
Right, right.
placed.
Oh,
And
I
the
have
other
to stop
part,
you here, though. Why did you put these silos of dirty water at the end of your video? There's got to be a reason behind this.
yeah, I think this is how I chose really the factory. And for me, it's really important. This part is water. Water conservation is something that now it's a must. And then so what happened in that pool, and as you saw, like that dirty water,
Yeah.
is the textile industry pollutes a lot. The dyes that are being used, chemicals, etc. So the water eventually goes back to the same place where it came from, right? But then this factory makes sure that the water is sent clean, and they have agreements with universities and with local farms, and they use natural batteries that they get placed in those pools, and the water moves from pool to pool. Different bacteria go there and they start cleaning the water. So
Hmm.
when you wear a pair of Tucketts, you are relaxed and tranquil that you are bringing back you are giving back
Yeah.
something that has been clean, and
Right.
that is not making more damage.
And you take into consideration also the environment with everything that you're doing. So that's why you were telling me that's why you chose that factory, because they're so careful with everything they do. They really use the right equipment. They're using recycled cotton. They're giving you suggestions on ways that you can improve your product. And Paola was even telling me yesterday when we were going through what we're going to do today, that she said, I always go. I said, how often do you visit the factory? And she said, I try to go at least once a year, and I try to talk to everybody. I want everyone in the factory to know that their position, we couldn't do this without them and their position being so important. Paola, I want to piggyback on something that another comment came through, and that is that I want to show, because one woman said that her daughter has poor circulation. And you and I were talking yesterday about how Tucketts is for much more than just exercise. Describe that for me, because while these are not the compression socks, they are leg warmers, and you do have knee highs or knee socks that have a bit of compression in them, correct?
Right. So none of our socks are medically made to be compression socks, right?
Right.
However, the knitting is very close to that.
Uh-huh.
And then, so the compression socks, and it's basically compression is just putting, the knit is tighter and putting pressure in different parts or in key parts of the feet. So for example, if you take our anklet sock, it has compression on the arch of the foot. If you take our knee-high sock, it has compression like here, for example. If I show you, it has compression on the arch, but also on the ankle of the sock. So it's like key parts, and the entire sock itself is tight. So if you wear it, you're going to feel it tight, but the whole objective is help a bit with circulation, and then also to make sure the calves are warm, because when your calves are warm, and the feet as well, the impact that it has when you're doing any barefoot activity is higher.
You also talked about how when we said things like, they're not just for exercise. When we talked about you as being a sponsor for Sunday Funday, I was always showing the ones that I had, which were the open toe. And a woman said, I don't like my toes showing. So I thought, what a perfect way to show that you do also make the closed toe socks, and you have all kinds of different colors and different designs, but they too have the sticky bottoms. So when I finally got a pair of the closed toe, I started traveling with them and using them as slippers. But I bet a lot of people, Paola, use these because their feet are so much more comfortable. If they have like bunions on their feet, or they have the hammer toe, or their shoes don't fit as well as they did, or we wore high heels way too long when we were younger, so our feet just don't react and they're not comfortable. Do people wear these in shoes and boots now too?
Yeah, so actually, when I made the socks, I never thought all the uses that people were going to give to the socks.
Yeah.
And then one of them is we have a big amount of clients with web toes or hammer toes or bunions that find a lot of comfort on our toeless socks, because the toes are free and there is a bit more of circulation, but not obstructing them, not enclosing them. And then you were talking about the closed toes. So the closed toes initially is kind of really a sock that is the opposite of the open toes. Like this open toe sock is lightweight knit and is completely made in purpose. So really the feet can capture more and send more messages to the brain. The more the feet feel, the more is connected to the rest of the body. But our closed toe version is the completely opposite. Those are socks that have a bit of cushion on it. Those are thick socks, worn socks with the same high quality of grips. It also has some compression on it. But that can be used for different things, and also for people that feel more comfortable. Our clients were saying, can you please make closed-toe socks? Sometimes I just need some closed-toe socks, or some of my clients prefer closed-toe socks.
Well, Glenna was just talking about,
we want your quality and we want your values. Yeah.
She wants the variety. And so I wanted to show people on your website that if you click down the shop all, you can shop by category, you can shop by activity, by style. There's an example of where you click on, you can find your best sellers. You even have a perfect for the holiday season. We couldn't have done this interview at a better time because people are really wanting to make sure they get Christmas gifts on time. And you've got the bundles and gifts that are already prepackaged that people can buy and ship directly if they want to. But also you have larger sizes. So in addition to the closed-toed socks, you offer larger sizes for people who still want style, still want comfort, still want the non-slip, but still want a nice variety and pretty colors. Something else that is in this example in the upper left-hand corner is your new Fierce collection example. So I want to go into that Fierce collection, which is the leopard print, the zebra print, the lion print, the giraffe prints, and have you talk a little bit about that, because I think it's so cool that you've traveled around, but you're inspired also by the places that you go.
Right. So I'm a big traveler and I love hiking and also hiking high mountains. So for example, the first collection was an inspiration, and what I call is a combination where 3 of my dreams happened, very old dreams. One was to summit Mount Kilimanjaro, the highest mountain in Africa.
Wow.
2, it was to see African wild animals in their natural habitat.
Sure.
And the third one was to get to meet a local tribe that was still alive, like it wasn't too westernized. And then I did all these 3 in this trip, and then this collection came out of that.
Cool.
And then while, as you do the safari, they are telling you all so many things about animals. And then I was amazed by the leopard, the agility and the adaptability, and how animals, like wild animals, they're unapologetically them, right? And that's what I wanted to bring to us with that first collection. Is like you look at that and remember to be fierce, to feel fierce.
Yes.
Also being unapologetically you, in the way how you are, in the way how your body is, in the way how your emotional or physical state is. It's kind of embrace that, and this is the inspiration behind
multiple messages multiple messages behind that fierce collection for sure. So you're saying you look stylish, but go out and do your thing, you know, and give that lion roar and feel good about it. And I wanted to let everybody know that Paola has been very generous for you through me. And so I put the link in the comments as to where you can directly go to her website. And then when you find a collection, or you want to just try one pair, or you want to try the knee socks or the leg warmers, because in many parts of the country, you're thinking, yeah, I could use something to keep my calves warm and my ankles warm and my feet warm, but still safe. They make great gifts. I gave one of your closed-toed pairs to my mother-in-law, and she wears them as slippers because there's a lot of wood in her home. And she's running around, you know, trying to keep up with toddlers. And she said, I love the grips on the bottom of these, but all the different sizes that you have. But anyway, if they use my code, which is my name, Judy Kroll, all one word, you're giving my followers 20% off. So they just put that in the checkout cart. And that is for the whole order or anything they buy in the future.
Yeah. It can be one pair or multiple pairs. And also, if you buy 3 pairs of more, you get free shipping.
Yes, I love that. I love that. So that there are all kinds of incentives as to why these would be great to be able to buy for yourself and or for a gift.
Yeah.
So
and the
thank
other
you
thing
for that.
is when you buy a pair of Tucketts, you are creating impact in so many different ways.
You know, and I'm so glad that you brought that up, because we were talking about some of the ways that you have been giving back, in addition to all of the different styles that you're coming up with, and the colors and the inspiration from, I don't know, whether it's glaciers in Alaska to hiking in Kilimanjaro to just going on a safari. But I'll show people a very interesting photo that you shared with me yesterday. And it pertains to a girl with a prosthesis. How did this come about? Was this something that someone sent you a picture of, or did you find a girl and say, let's try this, see if these will work for you?
No, actually, it was she tagged us. She on Instagram, she tagged us in a picture, and then when I start looking at what she was doing, and she does Pilates, and then she also sent me a message saying, your socks have changed my practice completely. And
Wow.
I'm way more confident now since I found your socks. And by coincidence, again, we come to like the prosthesis. And if you look at the foot, it's made exactly in the same shape, that it holds the big toe and the rest of the toes are free. So that makes for her it's even easier to wear the prosthetic. And then her story is amazing. She was born, her name is Tatiana. She was born without a leg. And then she has always done everything like anyone else. For her, any leg is a leg. And then when I saw her, I was like, wow, this is amazing. And I want to create actually more impact to people that just with a pair of socks could have a different feeling or encourage them. And then we contact the Jordan Thomas Foundation to work together. And this is when we learned that prosthetics in the US and around the world are extremely expensive. And they have to change, especially for kids, in the same way how a kid will change the pair of shoes. So now we are partnering with the Jordan Thomas Foundation, and then 5% of our profit goes to the Jordan Thomas Foundation to help to provide prosthetics, especially for kids that don't have feet, to give them feet in order for them to have a healthy and completely independent life. This is all what is needed to be independent for them, from being in a wheelchair to being able to walk. And sometimes it's just money. It's just they cannot walk because they don't have how to pay for prosthetics.
Wow.
So every time that you buy a pair of Tucketts,
yes,
you are also contributing to that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, that's the whole point of being able to have wonderful guests like you on the show, is to get the word out about what's out there. And I have a number of different sponsors. I sent you an example of a video
Mhm.
that I had done with that Paul and I did on a previous show. And her name is Ira Green. And she is the CEO and founder of a deodorant company called Freedom. And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool that she could secure that name and that it would be okay to trademark that for a deodorant brand. But she does so much too. She gives back to cancer societies and cancer research. And she talks about being good for the environment. So I really love being able to partner with you on this score too, but also to show so many options that are out there for people to feel better, to have more confidence, and to know that they're giving back as you are, because a portion of your proceeds are going places. And then also to be able to say, hey, thank you, here's a discount for, using this code. Why not pass along the love, right?
Yeah, totally, totally. And then now is the perfect time because Tucketts are the perfect gift for little gift for Christmas. If you want a little present for just to say thank you to someone, you will see the reaction. People is always like, "Oh, I never seen these ones. I love them," and they keep using them, and then they find so many uses. Even people love to sleep with them.
Yes, exactly. Well, it's funny you said that because we were talking about that yesterday. They don't want to sleep in a full pair of socks because they might feel like they're a little claustrophobic, or maybe they want their toes exposed, but they want the warmth. And so especially the ones that have the traditional look that we were talking about with what you call your Mary Janes, how they're open, but they
Mhm.
still can warm the feet. And if you get up in the middle of the night to go use the restroom, you already have the non-slip grip on the bottom. So win-win, right?
Right, exactly. Yeah, we had this client that was saying like, I don't like to wear socks. And I realized it's because of I don't like my toes to be completely covered at night.
Uh-huh.
And she's like, I found the perfect, it's like compromise. I
Yeah.
wear socks and keep the rest of the foot warm, but I have the freedom of feeling that I don't have anything wearing anything on. And then so people find different uses for like the Mary Jane. Some of our clients use them for aqua gym. They go from like the shower to the pool, they exercise, and they go back to the shower and they take them off all the way to the end because the
Ah,
grippers are perfect for the pool and the socks are not heavy. And
right.
this particular design, Mary Jane, it has just the right amount of fabric in order not to become either too heavy or soggy in the water.
Right. Jane is asking, are they good for metatarsal problems? Have you ever had that issue come up before?
Uh,
They're not
no,
really
like
designed to
for
be
very
a
right. For
therapeutic type sock. They're
yeah.
more designed to be a sock to help you non-slip where you go, but also to free up your feet to be able to use them, whether it's an athletic fashion or a comfortable fashion within a shoe if you need it. But it's not really a therapeutic sock, is it?
We don't sell them as that, but we have had podiatrists that recommend our socks to their clients.
Right, right.
So we don't have enough studies to this become a medical sock.
Hmm.
Immediately, there are many podiatrists that have approached us and they have told us, you don't know what you have created, for example. So
Right.
we are in the state of, you know, breaking that bridge from
Yes.
leisure sock for workouts to get into the medical part. But at this
Well, here
moment,
you say they allow your toes to have complete sensory contact. They support postural alignment and balance to increase your body awareness, stabilizing your stance so you can be more confident in your
Mhm,
balance and in your walking and in your movements. And there's so many people, I was even thinking about the use of the knee socks,
mhm,
because we were talking about so many people flying
mhm.
and the compression sock concept, but sometimes the medical compression socks are so tight. And I had some work done on my calves, a vein surgery years ago. And I can remember thinking, I would rather just sit down and put my feet up than try to get these darn socks over my feet and over my legs. Yours are so much easier to put on, but they still have a little bit of that compression. So even traveling in them would be terrific and a nice gift for those who are going to be.
And then you will be surprised, like wiggling your toes. Only the fact that you can do it freely, it reduces how the body is feeling the stress. And
Right.
especially if you try to move the big toe, for example. So the fact that even you're at home, you're at the office, you are in an airplane, and you can wiggle your toes,
Sure.
it also is helpful. It creates incentive to circulation.
Yes. There's another question that came up, and it's, do they have grippers on the back of the heel so they won't slip in your shoes? We've all had that experience where I did just the other day. I had a sort of a pair of ankle socks on, but they were real thin, and they were just to let my feet sit in a boot without getting blisters. But they kept slipping down the back of the heel. So I kept undoing the zipper of the boot, pulling it back up the heel, zipping it back up again. So that's actually a good question.
So they don't have at the back of the heel, I think. The question is, they have it here?
Right.
No, they don't. And the reason is because when you wear these socks with shoes, and the fact that the grippers are here, kind of, the socks don't move.
Right. They stay around the ankle.
And stay around
the heel.
Yeah. So that's why we thought it was unnecessary.
Yeah. Yeah. And are you continuing to develop more and more styles? Does a factory come to you every once in a while and say, I don't know if you ever thought of this, but this sort of happened by accident with this work? Or when you say, oh, I really want to use this particular yarn or this particular fabric, do they come back and say, not going to work on these socks?
Yeah, the grippers, because the grippers, in order to place them, they go, imagine, like through a special oven, so heat. And then not all yarns can go through that special oven because they can just burn. So we have certain limitations in terms of material. And also as a company, we try to use cotton and natural materials as much as possible, because anyway, like synthetic fabrics, they are going to have a bigger impact in terms of the environment. But the factory, we work really close with the factory. Our design team here and the factory work really close. And sometimes when they see like, oh, this should look good on Tucketts, because Tucketts is very unique and they have never made socks like ours. So they're always trying to innovate. Yeah, and we work together on that.
Right. Well, I think it's amazing how big is this factory. Only doing Tucketts? What else do they do?
Oh, no, they do millions and millions of socks a year. They do socks for many big American brands as well.
I wash my socks in a lingerie bag, a netted lingerie bag, but then I always let them air dry. I never put them in the dryer. Is that the right thing to do?
That's the best thing to do. But to be honest, I'm always testing my socks. So I go to the extremes to know what we cannot do. And for example, I throw my socks in the washing machine and in the dryer.
Oh, you do?
Heat. I do high heat because I want to test them.
Oh, okay.
Right.
You have different motives.
But they come good. It's fine. Nothing happens to them. So like any clothing, the more, if you do hand wash, like what you do with your laundry, like it will last longer, right?
That's kind of what I felt.
Right. It will last longer. Like especially our sheer collection, anything that is sheer, like we recommend hand wash.
Okay.
But you can still do it and nothing is going to happen for sure.
They'll last us a very, very long time.
Yeah, they last multiple washes, uses. And like any other sock, eventually they start getting loose. It's just normal, like clothing, like socks. But that will you will need to wait several months or years for that to happen.
Well, I just want to put the code up one more time so that everybody who has joined late or everybody who's hung in with all kinds of really good questions can know after the show, go down to the comments section where you see all those wonderful comments come through. And there's a link where it'll take you directly to her website. Use the code Judy Kroll, all one word. Don't break it up like you would a normal name. And then you'll get a discount on anything that you decide to buy, even if it's gifts or multiple packages, gifts and bundles, the new Fierce collection, all kinds of things. So I hope that that's helpful. I hope that you feel as though you've gotten a lot of good information for the day, that it's been a good time for you in thinking about gifts, even if that gift is to you, from you. Sometimes those are the best kind.
Yeah.
And I
And also I want to say, if anyone buys a pair of socks and for whatever reason, shouldn't be any issue, but just for you to know that we're here for you, and then we stand behind our socks. Anything that happen, just don't hesitate to come to us, and we'll be more than happy to help.
Thank you. We really appreciate that. I know that from firsthand experience. Through all the years that I've worn the Tucketts socks, I definitely have been treated very well. Your customer service is wonderful. Thank you so much for being a part of Sunday Funday. And before you go, I forgot to start the show with a toast. Do you have something to cheers me with?
Yes.
Cheers. Cheers. This has been lovely, Paola. Thank you so much for being our guest today. And I hope to talk to you and see you again soon.
Yes, thank you for having us, and everyone have a wonderful rest of the weekend.
And you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, same to you.
Thank you.
Bye.
How cute is that? She's just such a lovely lady. Wait, I can't toast and then put it down. In our family, that's bad luck. If you cheers, you have to drink. Then you can put it down. But if you do have any questions, let me know, and go through the comments to see all the different styles and the way that you can easily relate. Oh, speaking of relating, you know, I told you about how I wear the Tucketts in all of my videos, and I wear them to every class that I do when I'm going, you know, to a studio. But I do have a new video that just came out yesterday, and it's an at-home workout for women of every age. So, I'm glad you did, Mariana. And I think you also commented on the workout. So thank you for that as well. Happy Sunday, Glenna. So if you want to go see the new workout, I've put that link in the comments section too, just to make sure that you are feeling good about it all. And what I did forget to tell you is that there's a very special event. So if you've hung around with me, the show's not over yet. I have a very special event. Speaking of holidays, is kind of a countdown to Christmas. And I talked to my jewelry manufacturer, and we said, let's do a 6-week countdown to Christmas and feature a different item on every Sunday Funday and put that on sale for 20% off. So this week, I'm featuring this white buffalo ring, and it's on the Judy Kroll Style page. And I'll show you where that is so that if you wanted to see it, I have a direct link to show it to you. So hold on, and I'll bring that up before I lose it. So here, this is our 6-week countdown to Christmas. And if you go to the website, you'll be able to see all 10 of the items that are there. With the code Judy20, you can get 20% off. And again, that's if you decide that you want to wear it yourself, or you decide that you'd like to actually, send it to someone. You certainly can. But for more of the details about the white buffalo, I thought you'd also get a really big kick of this, because one of the reasons that we like this stone so well is because Paul and I went to the mine, and it was a very dirty experience. But But that is when we went, and you know, believe it or not, oh, you're welcome, Sherry. Thank you. We went in March of 2010. So this was 11 years ago where we were at the mine. And it just shows you, I mean, it's massive, massive in Nevada. And that was Dean Otteson, who's also right here in the white cowboy hat. And we had taken Lee along with us, our videographer, and you can see all the material that they have to sort through in order to be able to find anything that looks remotely like a gemstone. Oh, I had to throw in my like little glamour shot sitting in the rocks. Still had to look like a Hollywood movie star trouncing around in the rocks and the dirt. Didn't come home looking like that, FYI. But this was Dean's ring. Isn't that neat? So you really do see all the variety of matrix that runs through it. Now, white buffalo is not turquoise. A lot of people think that, or call it white turquoise, but there's one place, Paul was telling me about a place in Colorado. He thinks it was Cripple Creek, Colorado, where they called it the sacred white buffalo turquoise because it looked like white buffalo, but had some turquoise in it. So it's not turquoise. It's actually a combination of calcite and quartz. And there is in the comments the link that'll take you directly to the site. Thanks, Glenna. I think so too. And it's so, so comfortable because the boldness sits on the top of the hand. So when you get there, if you decide you want to take advantage of the 20% off, make sure that you see the coupon box, add your coupon, and then click apply right next to it. When you do, and your coupon is Judy20, it'll come right off. So instead of $69 for that ring, it would be $55.20. So I thought that would be kind of a really cool thing to show you because, as I said, we put the Judy Kroll style jewelry in. That's funny. Yeah, I know. I guess I had to try. Right? Thanks, Nikita. So anyway, that was big news. And I meant to tell you at the beginning, but then I was also trying to work in Paul's video because some of you came in late and you asked where in the world he is. I'll show you that again. Although he did oh no, here's the other one. I was trying to show it to you in the thing. In fact, I think right now, this is probably where he is. Okay, hold on. I got to turn it sideways. And I have to show it to you in the old fashioned way on my phone because I couldn't get it down in the green room. All right.
Hello again. Well, hello again. I am now at the public boat ramp of the city right there. And we're hoping maybe in a half hour or so, the boat will arrive.
So there you go. That's where he is. And so the little pontoon that you used to see back behind us up on the lift, we're now bringing 2.5 hours south. And so he got the duty of going to meet the guy. New letters on the side. We got it painted and all dolled up. So hopefully he found the check in the glove compartment to give for all that hard work. You know, I try to think of everything. I do have signs of all kinds, Aaron Ladner. If you thought I forgot, I didn't forget. Okay, so Oz is hard at work. And let's start with this first one from Christine. Interviewer, what did you like best about your last job? Me. Sometimes people had birthdays and there was free cake. I love it. So true. Speaking of cake, I think you have a one-track mind this week, Christine. Vegetables are a must on a diet. I suggest carrot cake, zucchini bread, and pumpkin pie. Yeah, I kind of like the way you think. Jane participated. This is what she wrote. It's so funny. Cashier told me strip down facing me. By the time I realized they meant the debit card, it was just too late. Yeah, I'm like, oh, that's true. Strip down facing me. That is what they say. Thanks, Jane. And then Connie, this is funny. Maybe some people do, but I got a kick out of that one. Say what you will about the South, but no one retires and moves up north. And here's another one that Paul and I found when we were in Belize. So I like that one too. So anyway, those are the signs of all kinds for this week. I was able to have enough time to try to fit those in. And while I didn't have time to create a whole video of my wise words, I wanted to give a little shout out to Glenna because I'm actually using one of her little contributions. Kind of more, she probably put it in there for a signs of all kinds. And I thought it was sort of a great way to end the show, especially after the interview with Paola Shah of Tucketts on a positive note. So Paul will be back next Sunday for the reason it's called Sunday Funday with Paul and Judy. And we look forward to seeing you then. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And as I said, thanks to Miss Glenna, I've got a little something to leave you with, without any audio though. So I'll just have to put it up there and let you see it and see what you think. Consistency matters. Show up every single day. Your dreams won't appear unless you do.